The second game today of the initial weekend of Arc 10 Insurrection. We have streamed pickup matches for you today. Noxus did come out on top in the first game we held today, and Zaun is going to try and look to even that out here, despite their rather significant rank disadvantages throughout most of the arc. I am going to be casting today's match along with the ever illustrious son of Till alongside me.
Hello.
Yes, that one.
There's no turning back.
So, I believe this game also has a slight rank disadvantage in Noxus's favor. It's not nearly as much as it used to be. Zaun does have, but Zaun does have a bit of a dearth, if you will, of high tiers this arc. So we'll see if they're able to. We are able to overcome that here.
If I must.
It's not that does not appear to spell anything, does it? For Noxus, HIE? Not really.
What's that?
The bands.
Oh. No.
And then the BAA on the other end. Evil Shadow is going to be picking up the LeBlanc, which Evil Shadow's LeBlanc is kind of terrifying. So
Look forward to seeing that today.
yeah, whoever's going to be mid lane is going to have to be playing very carefully into that. Otherwise, he is going to run away with it, as he has been in a couple of the other pickups. Nom, on the other hand, is picking up his Twitch, his main, so he's also comfortable on there. But unfortunately, Zaun's bot lane matchups just tend not to be all that strong. So we'll see if he's able to still manage to play well into the rather rough matchups that tend to happen there.
Well, assuming that there's no shenanigans going in the bot lane, Twitch and a Draven isn't exactly the worst of matchups. A Twitch fighting a Draven will, outside of a full-blown fight until either of us dies sort of fight, will come out on top. The poisons and the E for Twitch makes him enjoy the longer trades, which is what unfortunately Draven has to find himself doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same sort of issue Draven has with Avaris.
How does that change though with the fact that Zaun's best support option is Janna, who doesn't have a lot of trading potential or a lot of presence in lane? I mean, she can, give him the shield for the extra AD, but how does that kind of alter the trading potential, considering that
The
Morgana can actually put damage down early?
the real issue is the Morgana in the bot lane here. A Janna with a Twitch against a Draven and let's say some sort of a melee support, like Leona, or let's not use Leona. That's a hard counter for Leona with the Janna. But the disengage that Janna provides against a Draven, making his aggression fall flat, is very, very useful. But with a good Morgana shield will just completely negate the tornado that she would throw out. And so all you're getting is a minimal shield that will help mitigate some of the damage. But if a Morgana lands a binding, if Morgana gets some good shields, it is pretty much game over for the bot lane.
Okay, so as long as it's played well on Zaun's side, they can come out in those trades and
Yeah,
ultimately the lane.
it's pretty much it's all on the Morgana. As far as if all players are playing at the most optimal, it's pretty much all on the Morgana. Draven can do some dodging shenanigans, but him wasting time moving just gives Twitch some extra auto attacks.
Well, that does sound to be exceedingly sensible. I suppose I will accept that analysis, considering I am lowly silver gold scrub and bow down to my high tier overlords.
Mm.
Anyway, so we've got the rest of the picks locked in. We've got looks like a Kled up in the top lane matched up against a Singed. That matchup doesn't do a whole lot because it's Singed, and
Yeah,
Singed doesn't have matchups.
it depends on whether or not the Ascension is an idiot and does normal champion things. If he does, the Kleds should completely shit on him. But otherwise, nothing's really gonna happen up there.
Otherwise, Singed will proceed to not play League of Legends today.
Yes.
Which is kind of Singed's shtick. So as long as he does that, I'm sure. Hopefully things will turn out okay for him up there. Well, the Kled will sit and farm, I guess, as best he can. Meanwhile, Noxus has selected Zaun as their jungler as opposed to the Darius. Considering Noxus doesn't really have a true jungler, they usually have been running with one of those two. And Zac has been picked as Zaun's jungler. Zac actually hasn't been seeing a lot of play since the mid-season tank update, mostly because of the fact that he's considered weak. But we do have kind of two sort of tank junglers with clears on the slow side here, so it's gonna be probably not a lot of those really early strong ganks that we've been seeing recently in meta. But hey, it's only been a few days since the tank update, and things are still kind of in flux. Zac did get, I believe, is either did get or is getting some small buffs to kind of balance out how weak he's considered right now. So
He did get a buff in the hotfix.
yeah, okay.
Don't count out Zach's ganks though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He might be a tank, but his ganks are still ridiculous with that E.
Yeah. Like I was of the opinion that we should have been using him despite how weak he was actually, because despite the fact that his numbers are kind of low, like he still does his job and he still does it reasonably well. So hopefully his return will yield good things for Zaun. Well, Sion has been seen having some success in the jungle despite being kind of an off-meta pick. The first game of the day, he was played and did get some solid work done. He had a couple ult ganks that actually turned out pretty well, so hopefully that'll come out for Noxus as well. But overall, I'd say probably the biggest thing for this game in terms of determining how it turns out will probably be in the mid lane. Simply because that's where a lot of the carry potential is, particularly for Noxus. I think Zaun would probably has to rely mostly on letting Twitch scale and getting him into his big, pick and team fight status, just kind of get him through the early game. While Noxus kind of has the impetus in the early, if they can get LeBlanc snowballing, if they can get Draven snowballing, then they can just kind of go to try and close it out.
I want to know their thought process behind this interesting summoner decision on bot lane. The summoner spells.
Oh,
They're
the barrier on Twitch and the heal on Janna.
Mm-hmm. They know that they have there's a Janna, a Draven, and to a lesser extent a Kled, who's all going to be on Twitch's face.
Yes.
I can get behind a barrier on the Twitch, but I don't feel like the heal on Janna is a good decision.
What would you say Janna take instead? Because I would think the traditional exhaust. Yeah.
Exhaust would have been the thing to choose. If she's concerned about whoever's playing it is concerned about hitting the exhaust on stuff like LeBlanc, then I can understand. So don't agree with it, but I can understand the decision. But the Twitch is just going to get blown up, despite the fact that you've got so much health from the barrier and the healing. That won't help. Not unless the LeBlanc can't do anything, and then the exhaust would be even still better. But we'll see how it works out for them.
See, now I would generally agree with you in that the exhaust would actually be incredibly valuable for the number of dive potential. However, you are forgetting one key point, that heal rhymes with peel, and
That's
therefore it's OP.
that is correct. I did not consider the Dr. Seuss method.
Exactly. See, it's a proven fact that summoner spell synergy is primarily determined by how well you can make rhymes with your champion, and Janet does have quite a lot of peel. So
All right.
are getting into the game. Watching the loading screen, taking a look at the borders, it does look like the game is actually quite a bit more balanced than most of the games have been. So hopefully that'll translate into something uh, like something rather exciting for the viewership. Um, in terms of how comfortable people are in champions, obviously I did mention that Random Nom is a Twitch main, so obviously got Mastery 7. But overall, not a ton of mastery. The Mastery 4 on Noxus was also pretty good, and then of course Evil Shadows LeBlanc has the Mastery 7 as well. He's proven to be quite a threat there consistently, so I do think that is primarily where the carry potential is going to come from, both units from their Mastery 7 players. So there we go. Now we're in the game. I was wondering what was going on there. I am going to be adjusting positions of everyone on either team because people seem to like that. So you're welcome, like however many of you are viewing this for convenience sake.
Right, so I see that Twitch is going with that Doran Shield start. This will be my first time seeing it. I understand that it's considered pretty good for laning, and I can definitely understand why he would take it into the Draven matchup.
I mean, I believe it's earned a nickname of Mini Spirit Visage, so because the health regeneration on that passive is incredibly strong, so helping to sustain against and then reduce the Draven's auto attack damage would be pretty strong if you can pull it off. Not a ton of interesting item buys in the rest of the map. We do have.
We got the Dark Seal on heavy, going for some shenanigans, but Cled's not too far behind in the shenanigans with starting with the
Oh hey look,
Ruby
early
Crystal.
proxy.
Yes.
No one is surprised. Although it looks like Heavy might just give first blood, but he's singed.
And he looks like he's gonna get away. Or
flash bear trap. That's gonna be.
It's not gonna
broken
catch.
though.
Wow. All right, good use of summoner spells.
Chasing
Come
Singed.
From Singed, rather.
Anyway, yeah, that's actually pretty damn good for him. Taking the 4 CS, pulling the flash. Overall, I'd say that went pretty well in Heavy Saber. He is no longer in a position to proxy, but as long as he plays his lane properly, I think he actually does okay after that.
Yeah, I mean, Clyde lost a lot of kill pressure, and the fact that it just pretty much all worked out for him. For Heavy. Unless he's not gonna die to that, but that was quite a bit more damage than I think he was expecting.
Yeah, the aggressive trades from the Clad. He is probably going to be forced back here. We are seeing another trade down bottom.
Yes, there is quite a bit.
So I'm kind of seeing what you were saying a little bit down there in terms of how Twitch Janna can trade with the Draven, because it looked like Morgana didn't do a ton there, and that seemed to really swing things in favor of Draven getting a ton of damage on him.
it really is just going to come down to as the lane goes on, if Twitch isn't able to keep Draven kind of like at bay, the level damage, the increased damage that they're going to get with their levels will catch up to the poison that Twitch would otherwise be able to do. Quite a bit of aggression coming up in top lane, but Pinky is able to get away just barely.
There's quite a bit of trading going on up there, which is kind of interesting, given Singe's reputation of non-interactivity. But oh, first blood, nice E coming out from Nom stacking those stacks, which is what you do with stacks. Words are hard, ladies and gentlemen.
This might be a dead Singed. Yes, it is. Alright, at first I was going to criticize Pinky on staying in lane when he had TP like that, but considering the fact that Mike was coming up top, it was a very, very good decision.
Yeah, keeping the attention on him with that appetizing Yordle food stuffs. Sketch is in trouble here, though. That Ignite is going to be taking the auto attack.
Yeah, it's going to take him out.
And Rextreff is going to be doing one of his patented Janna roams midline. Is he actually going to...
Is he going to kill him?
Oh my god, he
He
did it.
killed him! I thought he was just going to die. That was unexpected.
He may fall here to
He
the
will
Scion,
not.
however.
Not unless he's willing to tower dive.
Doesn't look like the case. Well, that was a very successful Janna roam, which is...
Yes, it was. That
Well
was interesting.
This is quite an aggressive early game, honestly.
Yes,
a
it
bit more
is.
than I expected, but it seems to be making for some interesting laning going on here, particularly in the top lane.
Yes, Pinky is being very, very greedy here. Should have backed as soon as that tower hit the mains hit the tower. But it might work out for him.
If you manage to get the courage back up, because Heavy is tanking a lot of tower shots here.
If he had just not canceled like 3 auto attacks there, he probably would have killed him.
We do see Zach going up to kind of try and help things out here, and it might turn out to be a
Goodness
double
gracious.
there, 'cause that was...
This is a double kill.
Yeah, that was not the most coordinated of
Or
engages there.
perhaps... Oh, no, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does he actually have the
Skarl-
damage to finish that off?
Maybe. I think so. Yeah, there it is. Skarl does... Oh, last minute E saves from the beautiful blob. But yeah, Skarl does have a tendency to make for some flashy...
Is he still
reasons.
going for it?
Yeah, it's Kled. What can I say? Go ham all the time. It works out. Shadow is roaming up as well. So
Oh my goodness.
we are going to see whatever the hell this is.
This is League of Legends.
High quality plays.
High
going
quality, good old-fashioned League of Legends.
on. Hey, when you throw a Singe into the mix, Till, who knows what happens? It ceases. The game
Apparently
ceases
no
to
one
be what it is.
Does anything?
Wow.
Well, Pinky should have just after the first auto attack just walked away, or after the buckshot. But you know, it's turned out really, really good for top lane.
And on the other side of things, because I mentioned earlier that Singe just does Singe things. Kled does Kled things, and Kled goes ham. So, granted, you know. However, we are noticing that Shadow is kind of running away with mid lane right now.
This might be a dead Draven.
I don't know.
No, with that
it's gonna
heal.
be close if so. Ah, there it is.
And he
Yep.
went back in, and so he is dead.
Yep.
And this is
a very, very aggressive game. And Mike
this is
is
a
also
very
dead.
weird game.
Oh,
that is
yep,
a
there it
dead,
is.
and that's a dead Scion.
So yeah,
Alright.
it turns out the people who were kind of expected to get fed and need to get fed are the ones getting fed on the LeBlanc and the Twitch. Although the Kled in top lane is also one of the ones getting fed, so that is in Noxus's favor. But the gold is actually incredibly even. At still just like 200 gold, and um, I don't exactly know what's going on here top lane.
Oh,
Scarl,
he didn't get it in
you
time.
were too late. Scarl will carry that's the regret of that to her grave, which apparently will never happen because she's immortal.
That level up.
That saved his life. Would he have gotten the execute, do you think?
I'm not sure.
That was I don't know. I think he probably would have given the kill over if he hadn't leveled up there. It's all calculated though, I swear.
Yes.
Well, heavy swears, I suppose I should say. That Kled ult isn't gonna go anywhere. I'm not sure what entirely that was, but hey, it happened. Rex going for aggressive trades onto Draven and winning?
I mean, just kind of did Jonathan's. The Draven walked up, and then he pressed Q. And this could be the end for Twitch
Draven
here.
might, yeah, he's going to die for it, but Shadow is going to be able to clean up here. Although, is Endgame also going to die? Or not?
Oh
off
my
cooldown.
Goodness!
That was a 2v3 win for Zaun in the bot lane.
That was that was interesting. So, I believe that the LeBlanc had missed one of her abilities and got it onto the Janna, and that's pretty much the entire reason that they were able to win that fight down bot lane.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. After the assassin rework, LeBlanc does need to be able to hit her full combo to get all her damage off. So, you know, one ability onto the wrong target makes a pretty big difference. We are seeing the flash kind of. She isn't going
This
to be.
is going to be a dead binky.
Yeah, Kled isn't going to be able to Scarl back, but is going to be able to trade the dive into a 1-for-1. I don't think.
It's going to be another dead echo.
Does not have ult up, not even level 6 yet. But Zac is going to go for the peel, but Shadow is going to flash. Should get the kill here.
Yeah.
As soon as
this
cooldowns comes
there
up.
it is.
Yeah, there it is. Oh, random nom. This could be an easy double for him, honestly. If he's able to get some good autos off. Oh, but he walked into the stun, and now he's gonna die for it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Or snare. CC is hard, even with the new CC indicators.
That was a very, very greedy decision on Effie's part there.
Singed! And that is all I have to say on that matter. He also has the 4 Dark Seal build.
Yes,
Which,
yes he does. Which is pretty much the entire reason, besides Singe things, that he's able to win these trades with the Kled.
Yeah.
Sustaining so much out of it, and the Kled didn't build any damage. I understand why.
He's going for another fight in mid lane without support, and it actually is not working out all that badly.
Well, they're trying to tower dive at Janna.
This is true.
Not really a smart decision.
Looks like
They're gonna get out of it, and so they didn't really lose anything out of it. But it was a very
does not
silly
have
decision.
ult up right now, but it looks like he's just going to be able to get it off, get all his damage off, considering he is, 6 and 1.
That's probably a dead Kled. Yeah, it's a dead Kled.
It is.
With that ghost, absolutely no escape.
Yeah. So
What the Kled should have done with his lead is, I understand the desire to build resistances against the Singed, so what you should have done is gone for the Hex Shrinker.
Indeed, to get kind of the best of both worlds. We are seeing, we did see an attempt at a cross map, considering it was 3 top, but down at Dragon, but it didn't look like Mike actually followed through on that, and I'm not particularly surprised. There wasn't really anyone to help him with.
Considering the fact that the Twitch is top lane, they know that the Singe TP is down, and they have so many people on the bot side of the map. I don't understand why Noxus isn't going for this Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, if Draven or Blanc had gone over to help him, they might have been able to take it, but as it was, Mike was kind of alone. Not entirely sure why they didn't decide to go for it, but hey, what happened happened. Was this going to be a dive onto Janna again? We do see the response coming out from Zaun. Morgana getting awfully low there. Gonna take the blast cone out. Last bounce part 2, boys.
Oh, that was silly. Alright, well this is probably a dead Draven. Or, no, he respected it.
Blood rush. He might still be dead. That's definitely going to be a dead Morgana walking in that, but Evil Shadow is going to go for the
This is a dead
assassination
Twitch,
onto...
though.
Yeah, so the Twitch without support isn't going to get anything off that. Zaun has lost their primary damage source here, but I don't think.
Well,
yeah, I
they
don't
do
think,
have a singed.
They do have a singed.
Doing
and,
some good work, and ooh, that was a really good fucking
I don't
E
know.
from the Zac there.
I don't know if diving onto Janna, Zac, and Singe was such a great choice. I know it wasn't like a hard dive, but it was still somewhat of a dive. Pinky, he's gonna go down before Clyde comes back, so that is a turn. These fights have been incredibly extended. These fights have been incredibly extended, Ravens. Just Echo was pushing mid lane. I don't think going to get anything more off that. The peel from Zac.
That I can feel the frustration, the fact that Heavy lived there.
I can also feel the DC from Draven, who they should be able to pause there. Yeah. Honestly, I think probably would have been dead anyway. In all honesty.
Well, if he had continued running, like what they should have done.
And yes, I actually, now that I think about it, if he had kept running, at the very least, Heavy would have died as well from the dive, because it would have taken longer.
I mean, if they had just ran from when they realized, or should have realized that it was over, there just wouldn't have even been a dive.
Granted, Till, I think at this point in the game, we can pretty much successfully say that there's been kind of a trend of not running when we probably should have at this, considering it's been happening like every few minutes.
I mean, that's pretty much been the story of bot lane. When the whatever it was that happened, when the Draven backed off from the Janna, the Twitch should have backed off, considering there was no vision in the river. But the Twitch, because of it, got the 2 kills, or the 1 kill off of the Morgana, and then he died, and then they died because Zac came. It's been an interesting turn of events.
Yeah, and I feel like that's really been the defining trait of this entire game. Really, so it's just been really, really extended fights that wind up turning into, well, these.
This, yes.
Case in point. It's just kind of weird. Okay, we are seeing the adaptive helm come out from Pinks here, and that is a good choice against the Singe, because he does have that consistent magic damage. That the reduction there is actually going to be huge, but
it's
again,
useful. But I feel like I still feel like as if he should have gone for the Hex Drinker first.
Yeah.
That I do understand why he got this even more so now.
The adaptive helm is a good choice against the Singe, but unfortunately, considering the lack of other damage items, you still don't really win the fight because you have no way of actually killing Singed. All you're doing, you're making it take longer, but you're still ultimately losing the fight. Yeah.
Yeah. And considering the fact that Singe didn't build any armor either, it would have been a much better decision.
Yeah, so the adaptive helm, a good choice, maybe not the correct order though.
Yeah.
But sorry.
No, go ahead.
But we did see Noxus did win that fight mid lane. They had kind of a pretty good turn onto the perhaps questionable Zac engage, and Nom did go kind of deep, get himself killed, and then they were able to turn that into a pretty big push mid lane. They got the outer and got some damage on the inner. And that does give some some pressure on them, but that allows them to kind of collapse in on this dragon here. Zaun isn't really in a position to contest, considering all 5 of Noxus is on the bot side of the map. But they do have Singed pushing the top lane, so
Yeah, they're
someone is eventually
expending
going to
way
have to
too many
deal with that.
resources on this dragon for Noxus.
Yeah, they are spending a lot on it. They're using a lot to kill this Janna, which maybe isn't the best choice considering it's not a hugely high priority target.
The only important cooldown that they used there was the Draven ult.
That's true. But
Twitch is able to just fucking auto attack from safety here.
Yeah,
they're very lucky that he doesn't have his ultimate, or wasn't using his ultimate if he had it up earlier.
Yeah, looks like, yeah, because he's basically just been positioned without being contested the entire fight, so he is going to be able to clean up with the triple here. The barrier might actually buy him some time, but no, not quite able to get the E. But of course, that was a 5v4.
Yes.
And they are going to lose the inhib turret here unless someone can stop him very quickly.
No, they're losing that tower.
Yeah. And
Home guards aren't online,
yeah,
and with that wave coming, no way.
If Noxus can't win 4v5s like that, Singe is going to split push this game to its end. And to do that, they've really just got to make sure they can assassinate Nom or keep him from just, you know, being an ADC in team fights. Which is pretty much what happened there, is he was an ADC in a team fight and no one killed him. So
yep,
he did his job.
That's a dead Janna.
Yeah, maybe too aggressive positioning from Rexstraf, considering, you know.
Yeah, they're gonna need to send multiple people with them to ward like that.
It does look like Noxus is responding to that team fight by picking up some picks around the map, which is, you know,
This is gonna be a
their
dead
comp is
clad.
good for, but...
Why did he flash?
Ooh, pretty solid
Well,
from the Zach.
Echo got out.
Barely able to survive. Had to pop sustain from the refillable, but hey, it worked. I'm just gonna back. Draven's also dead. Nope, life steal.
Healing.
Life steal. The Bloodthirster rush coming in for the save.
Too bad the expunge.
I feel like a lot of this, yeah. I feel like a lot of this game does come down to whether or not Noxus can deal with random Nom, both in terms of picks and in team fights. Simply because he is like pretty much Zaun's entire team fight capability right now. They do have other options, but if he dies, that's absolutely huge for Zaun's ability to actually win. And Zaun's been doing a good job of shutting down Noxus's primary carry in LeBlanc, primarily through their tank line, Singe and the Zac, as well as Janna doing Janna things. So.
They are not respecting the Singe enough.
They're really not. And I think that's been one of the reasons that they're slowly kind of falling behind here, is just that they're not really playing around Singe's particular style of League of Legends very well.
There goes Draven again with the DC.
Yes, unfortunately, they were punished for it. Although, they weren't really able to punish Nom's aggressive positioning there either. Though we are seeing another very extended fight. So Shadow is actually back after dying earlier. However, I don't think he's actually going to be able to get a ton right now, despite the fact that Singe is probably going to die.
That's a dead Singe. There's a turret coming at him. He has less than 100 HP. He has 42 HP right now. That's a dead Singe.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't sure where the turret was already, and honestly, but yeah. Even though Singe is going to die, I'm not entirely sure Shadow's even going to be able to get onto any of the low health targets. There it is. Yep. Especially because of the auto from Zac. Assassination. Okay, so Sketch did go down, but none of the high priority targets, which is primarily random Nom and arguably Zach, who has been doing quite a bit of work actually, despite being considered weak, still doing his job, as we were saying earlier.
Zach's doing really good.
Yeah. ADC's assassinating assassins? What is this?
It's a
Because it's not League of
Switch.
Legends. Yeah. Yes, Switch is the assassinist, one of the assassiniest ADCs. And he is just going to be shoving down that mid lane. Kled is going to look for the collapse, and Zach is actually going in
Zach going
here.
back in. If it wasn't for the fact that Draven is doing like negative damage, he would be very, very dead.
Meanwhile, mid lane. Yeah, there's the sponge. Nom is just going to stealth out. Zach is just unkillable right now. Like
They have
how much damage has
No
he been
damage
taking
coming
for how
out onto
long?
the Zach.
Ooh, nice ult there. Nom is going to survive the LeBlanc. Yeah, this
That's a
will
dead
be-
Twitch.
Again, super extended fight. Zaun stayed there for a very long time after winning that initial fight, but it is
Yes,
kind of
but-
working into their favor because Singed.
Singed, exactly. He's coming right over to that inhibitor as those pings were showing, and there's nothing the Psycho can do to help the Zach there. I mean,
Going
No.
back in the game.
I'm not exactly sure why Zaun is choosing to pick a fight here.
Because this is going back in the game, Till. And it's required.
Noxus was able to successfully defend against Singed there. Blanc does exactly what she needs to do here. Pretty much the only way that Noxus wins this is through the LeBlanc. Lesser extent through the Kled, but he's doing good work. But unfortunately, with the build decisions, it's not going to carry.
Yeah, he doesn't have the damage to really pursue that. Nom might just die here
That-
for his positioning there.
There it is.
Yeah, there's the ignite. And Noxus is going to pick up dragons. That's a pretty big swing in their favor, going to try and contribute to an equalization of this game. Gold is still about 2k in Zaun's favor, but it's not a big lead. Still definitely anyone's game, as long as Noxus plays their cards right from here on out. Hey, cards. TF is needed this. Because, he no longer has low protection for Zaun. Ah,
Funny.
it was hilarious. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, it looks like
It was
Noxus is going to look for the collapse on the Singed. That was actually, I would say, somewhat clever use of the LeBlanc's Deceive there, just kind of to scare him off. But I don't even know if it's actually going to do anything, because it is Singed, and he just kind of does that shit.
All right. Well, this is probably gonna be a dead Singed here. Yeah, with the root coming out, there it goes.
Again, going back in the game. He went back in, and he died. Looks like Nom does want to push in the bot lane, because neither of those outer turrets have gone, and that is a rather large wave for him, but I don't think Noxus is going to set up, but if they do get another good pick here, they might try and set up for the Baron.
They should have. With
Yeah.
Singed dead, no teleport, and Twitch bottom, they should have gone for it. Now the only thing is they didn't have the Draven, and I know that the Draven isn't doing too hot this game, but he's still consistent damage on Baron.
Yeah.
But they still should have done it, I feel like.
Yeah, and it does look like they're going to try and go for the counter push, and they are going to get one turret, but they don't have a ton of turret damage in who's right there right now, because Kled is hanging back, and Draven's still bot lane, so I don't think they're going to be able to get much more than that, even if they do get this turret, which is questionable.
Dead Morgana.
Mike is trying to get to that Janna shield, it's just not working. They're just going to turn on him, try and go for the second kill. Yeah, Noxus just didn't really play that cross map all that well.
No. Good
Looks
respect. A Mike flashing away like that. Looks like as if they're only gonna lose the Morgana out of this. Singe goes down.
The assassination.
Shadow might be
He
gone.
gets
There
the
it is.
contamination. Yep,
No
there it
respect.
is. Expunged for the kill.
They really need to keep in mind the Singe, not the Singe, the Twitch.
Yep. Nom is able to run rampant with those key stealths, and I'm actually wondering about that GI on Draven because, well, yes, it isn't. Oh, well, Morgana's gonna die again. I think no tower dive, but like I'm wondering about the GI on Draven because, well, GA is now an AD item, and that certainly helps. I don't know if it's kind of a slot that isn't super useful because
Still takes up your defensive slot as an AD carry.
yeah, and it's not like Zaun is being forced to use a lot of resources to kill Draven, so it's not like the GA is like a huge exponential for not a lot of gain for them.
Yeah.
So
What he should have done is just gone for the Azil item.
yeah, like
Or if he wanted more AD, going for something like an IE.
And I mean, he's already got a survival item, kind of in the Bloodthirster, so he really does need to get more damage, so he's more relevant right now. Nom does go down. That does give
Shadow
Noxus
coming in
a
hard.
window. Yeah.
This could be a dead Janna. Or a good ult.
Or the ult.
Good
Nice.
ult from the Janna.
Oh, going back in. Blast Cone might save.
There it
Black
is.
Shield not going to be enough.
And
oh, flash.
he
No,
went
not
that way because of reasons, and so he's dead.
No one ever accused Rexdrift of having safe positioning except Till. When the man makes plays, he makes plays, but safe positioning is not one of the things he is known for.
I'm not denying his playmaking capabilities, but styling on him doesn't win the fucking game.
This is very true. Yeah, I like this game has basically been a story of Zaun wins a team fight, gets some objectives, overstays, Nom dies, and then Noxus responds by assassinating a few members afterwards. It's basically just been that over and over again. Which does mean that even though Zaun is kind of ahead, Noxus has been getting some gains due to the overstay, so they are still very much in it, but they are slowly losing the objective game. They are losing towers pretty consistently. They have 2 open inhibs, and honestly, neither team has really been giving a ton of attention to neutral objectives. There's been 1 dragon taken, but given the way the towers are set up, Zaun does have reasonable control over the map right now. And there's another assassination.
Yes. Not really sure what he could have done differently, but that was not really good.
At this point, Nom is fed enough that if he pops up next to you, you're pretty much dead.
Great
That's-
team fight coming from Zaun there.
Yeah, that was played beautifully.
Incredible ult from Zach. The catch onto the LeBlanc. This is gonna be 2 inhibitors at the very least, if not both, and if not an additional tower.
Yeah, Noxus, they tried to go for the pick onto Rexdrift there on Janna, but Janna does have the shield, she does have the CC.
They need to stop messing around trying to fucking kill the Kled
Yeah.
and actually take these inhibitors.
So, yeah. I mean, they might feel like they have plenty of time, but Noxus is respawning here. So, they did get the inhibs, but now they probably are going to have to... Or they're going to go back in! I forgot what game this was! It looks like they're not overstaying too hard.
This is... unless Shadow is able to do some ridiculous shenanigans, this is going to be game
A
here.
lot of Zaun is low, but the Janna ult did get some health back. Nom did assassinate Morgana. Yep, there's the flame from Singed, and that's GG.
And that's game for Zaun.
Twitch running away with this, and they never were able to respond to him. Shadow never was able to assassinate him at the beginning of fights, and without Nom dead, they didn't have an answer. And yeah,
I mean-
that's GG.
it's very hard for her to get in
Yeah.
with Janna.
Yep.
And not to mention the stealth. It just
Yeah.
can't be. You don't randomly find an AD carry that's stealth.
Yeah, and Nom, you just, I guess, out assassinated Shadow today. Anyway, that will be game 2 of today's stream pickup matches for the first weekend of Insurrection. Coming out with a pretty well, I don't know if I would say dominant, but pretty convincing Zaun victory.
I would
To
consider it dominant.
yeah, yeah. Zaun victory to even up today's games. So we will see you at the next one if it happens, because these are pickup games. So we'll see.